The next inductees are famous for their efforts in developing Poplar Grove Airport into a flourishing residential air park. Acquiring the Belvedere Airport from Steve's father in 1994, they expanded and built the facility into a thriving community with a flight school with repair shop for airframe engines and accessories and a museum containing aircraft and automobiles. Some 170 people are employed at Poplar Grove. Here to tell us more about the work of Steve and Tina Thomas is Paul Wellman. Paul.
As this story unfolds, I think you'll understand why I'm calling this the Aviation Family. Let's start with Tina and her story. She was going to Northern Illinois University, studying in the School of Nursing, when she met Steve. Their first date was in this tail dragger. She'd never been in a small plane before, and she loved it. And Steve wasn't so bad either. Their honeymoon was in the Bahamas. They went a little further than most of us do. They had a Cessna Cardinal to use, and they spent their honeymoon in the Bahamas, and then came back to one of Steve's favorite projects. Granted, this plane needed a little work. But Tina became as passionate about restoring old aircraft as did Steve, and throughout their years, no matter what they have been doing in the business, they kept restoring old airplanes. After their marriage, Tina continued nursing, and they started their family, which now consists of 3 adults, Blake, who's here with his wife Jennifer, and Austin and Lindsay. At that time, and during those years, Tina also started her FAA certificates. She got her ATP, CFI, and when she got her multi-engine rating, the 99s gave her an Amelia Earhart Scholarship for that achievement. These 3 planes are as good an indication as I can of what kind of restorations they do. They've restored the Yellow Waco, the Red Bird, and Tina is as comfortable with any one of these 3 planes in the air, including the Beech 18, is she all the time in the air with one of these airplanes. And the Red Bird is now owned by Ken Starzik, who's here with us, our past president of our museum. When you're around our airport, it's easy to find Tina. She'll be in the golf cart with the 2 dogs. When she's off the field, you'll find those same 2 dogs in the back of Steve's pickup. But the 2 dogs are always with one of the 2 of them. Tina's passionate about women in aviation, and this September she will host a group called Ladies Love Tail Draggers. These are some of the local members, Tina included. She's passionate about getting them started early in aviation. Here she is in the cockpit with her granddaughter, Michaela, and Michaela's folks, Blake and Jennifer, are here with us today. Quoted in Rockford Woman's Magazine, Tina said, "Sharing the gift of flight is a wonderful job, and I'd love to encourage interest in flying, aviation, and airplanes." And that's been so much of her career in aviation. Now let's switch over to Steve's story. He started born and raised on an Illinois dairy farm. At 15, he learned how to fly in high school. Suddenly, he decided that a career in flying would be far better than cleaning calf pens and milking cows. He continued going to Rock Valley College and then on to Northern Illinois University. While in college, he sold airplanes and flew charter. And he met Tina. continuing on with their passion for restoring old aircraft. It didn't matter what their responsibilities were, they always have found time to give life back to some old vintage aircraft. And our airport is full of them. In 1972, Steve's dad, Dick, who was one of my best friends, started the Belvedere Airport. During those years, Steve had received his real estate license and then started specializing in farm management. Then in 1980, he joined Dick and was at the airport from that point on. In 1994, Dick passed away, and Steve and Tina bought the airport and renamed it Poplar Grove Airport, which is what it is today. Belair Estates, a project Steve took on adjoining the airport. He personally then sold 140 residential lots, 39 condos, 140 independent hangars, all the while running the airport along with Tina, who was running the flight school. And this is what it looks like today. Wow. Yes, I would say wow, and I'm there all the time. In the forefront is Bel Air Estates, and at the top then is the flight office, the hangars. At the very top is our museum. Grass runways, 9 and 2.7, 1.7 and 3.5, blacktop 4,000 feet, 1.2 and 3.0. It's just one heck of an airport. I love this picture. Snow blowing in the middle of the winter. Anytime it snows overnight, you'll find Blake and Steve moving snow on the runways, the taxiways. It's always cleared by the time it's light. And they do the same thing in the summer when the grass is growing. We say the grass is always mowed and the snow is always blowing. Steve was quoted in Northwest Quarterly magazine saying, "This is a positive place. It's a place where people can get away from the day-to-day grind, experience the freedom of flight, and be around airplane people. We like it here." All through the many 40 years, there's been a third Sunday in August fly-in, huge attendance many times. There's times when the Lions Club locally has served over 2,000 breakfasts. It's just a big deal on the third Sunday of August at Poplar Grove Airport. In 1999, Steve and Tina donated 12 acres to the fledgling Vintage Wings and Wheels Museum. This building was the second building the museum put up. It was disassembled off the Waukesha Airport and reassembled in Poplar Grove at the museum. It's 70 by 110 feet, and it's become a major flyout for many groups, lots of EAA chapters. That old building, it was built in 1938 by the WPA, opened in June of 1938, attended by all of the old aviation folks in the entire Midwest in that date in 1938. And now it sits here in its original shape. Doors, land and stone, girders, all original. It's a community airport, lots of different flying going on. This one courtesy of Bill and Judy Zangs. The Thomas family has been major involved in giving scholarships to youngsters interested in aviation. Over $75,000 have been accumulated through their efforts and donated. This group last year received scholarships, and 2 weeks from now, another $13,000 will be given to youngsters interested in aviation as a career. It's a major part of their family's interest. Oscar Mike Foundation, a group that was created to get disabled vets on the move and get them active. Poplar Grove Airport has a new mission as of a month ago. Help Oscar Mike Foundation to put these disabled vets in the air. These two young fellows, disabled vets, have just got off of their first ride. Again, never give up on restoring airplanes. I love this sign. Welcome to the home of aviation pickers. Aviation pickers, yes. The Thomas family has another interest that's totally separate from Poplar Grove Airport, Emory Air on the Chicago Rockford International Airport, a major facility that provides avionics, fuel service to local and visiting aircraft. And when the Thunderbirds come to fly in the Rockford Air Show, they certainly always park at Emory Air. It is a major activity. In summary, Poplar Grove Airport, amazing place, a very fine engine shop, maintenance shop, a flight school that Tina manages with 8 aircraft available for instruction, including something very unusual in this day and age, instruction and rental of tail draggers, a Cub and the 140. Very few of those are around, and few people are giving instruction anymore in those kind of airplanes. So that's Steve and Tina Thomas. A passion for aviation, a commitment to aviation, a life given to aviation, and along with Steve, along with Blake and Jennifer, helping them, they're going to continue to make this and improve this one of the finest airports in the Midwest. And on behalf of all of the folks who are based on the Poplar Grove Airport, Steve and Tina, and those folks who live in Bel Air Estates, and those folks who work for you, we are tremendously proud of what you have created. For some of us, it's our home away from home. It has been mine for 40 years. So now it's your turn to come up here and receive an award that you so richly deserve.
C-77 rocks!
C-77 rocks!
You're killing me, Billy.
On behalf of the Illinois Aviation Hall of Fame, we honor you with this plaque to commemorate the great work and accomplishments of Steve and Tina Thomas. Let's give them a big hand.
Yeah!
Like I said said to someone earlier, I'd rather be on a mower right now or plowing snow. But first I want to thank the Illinois Aviation Hall of Fame for this honor, and more particularly, I want to recognize John Reining and Burl Copeland, a couple of legends in our minds that are both in the Hall of Fame and mentors to us. They're great gentlemen, and they're very important to us. And I want to thank Paul for sharing some of our journey. I'm glad you didn't tell them all the stories. We'd be in deep trouble. But as he said, I grew up on a dairy farm, and having an airport is a lot like a dairy farm. It's 7 days a week. It's affected by weather. Constant challenges with over 400 airplanes there. The good news is we don't go home with manure on our shoes. But we love it, and puts us in a position where we're with our friends, our airport family. Tina and I are the luckiest people there are in aviation. We don't go to work, we go to the airport every day. How great is that? What could be better? But we really enjoy it. We're proud, we're very honored, and couldn't feel prouder about our friends and aviation family. Thank you.
said, and he's the guy that introduced me into this world and got me out of nursing, so it's been a wild ride since then. Special thanks to Carol, too, for supporting us through all this. And we just love what we do, and like all of you here, we just hope to enthuse, incite, and inspire the next generation of aviators, and we live it every day and hope to keep sharing our passion like all of you. So thanks so much. We have big shoes to fill here with the Hall of Famers. It seems surreal, but thank you again. Thanks to see all the familiar faces from home and 99s and everywhere else that we met along the way.
Which one do I look at?
Moment of fame.